So another type or another components of modules is the self-testing. So kapag sinabi nating self-testing, it refers to the ability of a particular module or component to test its own operation prior to being used or integrated with other modules. So yung process po nito ay importante for increasing the accuracy and reliability of a system so that it can identify any potential issues with a module before it is used in a larger system. So, itong self-testing na ito, ina-allow niya, it allows for superior quality control and assurance for the final product. So, self-testing gives learners opportunities to review, check, and practice what they have learned following in their own pace. So, dito, nagbibigay ito ng katayuan sa kanilang nagbibigay ito ng katayuan sa mga mag-aaral o sa mga estudyante para sa kanilang pagsasanay na kung saan maaari nilang gamitin ang kanilang mga natutunan upang mas mataas or mas maunawaan nila or magkaroon sila ng sapat na pinag-aralan. So, next is post-test. Pag sinabi naman natin post-test, ito ay isang uri ng pagsasanay na kung saan ginagamit ito upang masuri kung ano ba yung napagmasteran na or ano ba yung alam na ng mga students or mag-aaral sa mga layunin ng bawat module. So ito ay isang mahalagang patakaran para masiguro na ang mga mag-aaral ay handa at nagagampanan nila ang kanilang mga responsibilidad ng course. So post-test assesses whether learners have mastered the target objects or objectives of the module. So, ngayon naman po ay dumakot tayo sa tinatawag nating manipulatives. So, ano ba itong manipulatives na ito? So, manipulatives, ito po ay yung mga materyales na ginagamit sa isang pagtuturo o pagsasanay na batay sa paksa. So, maaaring gamitin ito upang makatulong sa pagkatuto ng mas mabilis at epektibo. So, halimbawa ng manipulative ay block, card, paperclip, balot, at ang mga manipulatives, ito po ay ginagamit para sa pagtatalakay sa isang konsepto o teorya sa pagtuturo, sa pagpapakita ng isang proseso sa isang visual at practical para sa mga pag-aaral. So, ano ba yung iba't ibang uri ng manipulatives? Ay, so ito, manipulatives. In a school, learners are given activities and materials that they can do. So, by means of holding and manipulating the objects, so yung mga students or yung mag-aaral, they can develop their fine motor skills by which they can manipulate nga yung objects na hawak nila kung saan sila mismo sa sarili nila, aaralin nila kung paano gamitin yung bagay na hawak nila. So, the objects that learners can hold are called manipulatives or manipulative materials. So, next, manipulative materials are objects that can be viewed and handled in a learning setting, according to Smaldiono, Lauder, and Russell 2012. So, manipulative materials, according to my research, are tools used to aid in learning processes. So, itong mga materials na ito, nag-include ito ng physical objects such as blocks or puzzles, hands-on activities like art projects or sorting cards, technologies such as interactive whiteboards and computers, and even virtual objects such as stimulations or animations. So, by manipulating and interacting with these materials, students are better able to learn complex concepts. So, instead of relying solely on memorization. So, manipulative materials are beneficial para sa mga students para mas ma-explore and ma-comprehend and apply nila yung ideas nila in a more concrete and engaged manner, leading to greater understanding and higher retention of knowledge. So, these have visual and tactile appeal and can be manipulated by learners through hands-on experiences. So, you can. Next is, what are the three types of manipulatives? So, dito na tayo sa three types of manipulatives. So, first, according to Asmaldino, Lauder, and Russell, 2012, there are three types of manipulatives. So, these are real objects, models, and mock-ups. So, um, first, what is mock-ups? First, what is real objects? So kapag sinabi natin real objects, ito po ay using real objects can make a kindergarten classroom more encouraging and interesting to the learners. So real objects are also called realia. Realia. So kapag sinabi po natin realia, it refers to tangible three-dimensional objects or artifacts such as coins, dolls, tools, furniture, clothing, buildings, and artworks from a culture or the period. Such objects are used in educational settings such as museums, classrooms, and libraries to give students a visual aid and tactile experience of the material they have or they are studying. So, really, it came from the term used to describe physical objects that are part of everyday life. So, it is originated in the 16th century as a Latin form or Latin term referring to anything related to reality. So it can include tangible objects. Yeah, so use like newspapers, coins, clothing, toys, furniture, and other objects. So, so um, these are these are objects that give opportunities for learners to use their senses, like touching, seeing, feeling, and smelling. So next, real objects, it makes the learning experiences more meaningful and relevant to young learners. So, bakit? There are different real objects that teachers can use in their kindergarten classroom. So, these objects like coins, tools, artifacts, plants, and animals are accessible, intriguing, and involving materials in educational use. So, itong mga uh, bagay na to, students can manipulate it. They know how to, they will learn how to manipulate those things na binibigay or pinapakita sa kanila ng teacher by means of sila mismo gagawin nila yung gusto nilang gawin dun sa bagay para yun. So models. Next type is another type of manipulatives is the model. So models are normally three-dimensional representations or representations of objects typically smaller than original. So kapag sinabi natin models, example po nito is yung three-dimensional uh, model of automobile. So it is usually made of plastic or metal and is typically smaller than the actual car. So um, uh, it may include details tulad po ng engine, wheels, interior, and more. So ito po yung mga commercial cars. So yung mga dar, parang laruan lang na kotse or tinatawag nga natin models. So yun. Models is also known as replicas or copies of an object. So it may be complete, detailed, or simplified for instructional purposes. So teachers can use models to teach or present learning experiences that real objects provide. So basically, models to be assembled come with an instruction manual or guide. Instruction manual or guide, it is a document that provides the instructions for assembling a model. So, usually po, nagko-contain ito ng diagrams and step-by-step instructions na nag-explain kung paano yung model, kung paano ma-build yung model. So, ito po yung guide that includes exploded view of the model. So, it shows the parts of the model and where they should be placed. So, um, nagko-contain din po ito ng troubleshooting tips for if you get stuck or have any issues with your model. So, kapag finalo mo yung instruction, it is important that you follow them closely as even the slightest mistake can cause the model to not fit together properly. So next is classroom construction of models is attractive and engaging to young learners and can stimulate create or discovery. So, uh, classroom construction of models, it is a fun and stimulating way for teachers to engage with young learners. So, uh, through the use of physical models, si teacher pwede siya mag-provide ng hands-on learning experiences na kung saan matutulungan yung mga students to explore topics in a more depth way. So, construction of models can be used in stimulate inquiry and discovery. So, ito yung nakakatulong sa mga students to better understand the ideas which is being taught to them. So, natutulungan din ito yung classroom in engaging and interactive environments where students are able to learn more effectively and have a better understanding of the subject matter. So next is mock-ups. Mock-ups are defined as a model of something which shows how it will look or operate when it is built or which is used when the real thing is not yet available according to the common knowledge dictionary. So, pag sinabi po natin mock-ups, ito po yung preliminary designs of a product or service. So, usually, na-create ito with digital software such as Adobe Photoshop to provide an overall idea of what the finished product will look like. So, commonly used in the development of website and mobile applications and can help designers, product owners, and stakeholders get an early understanding of product before investing too much time and resources. So, ito pong mock-ups, importante po ito parte ng development at process and often come before prototypes and before it can be produced. So, as Ismaldino, Lauter, and Russell, 2012 explained that the mock-ups are sometimes constructed as working models illustrating the basic operations in a real device. So, um, in this way, yung designers, mas ma-identify nila kung ano ba yung problema before they get to the actual product build. So, mock-ups and prototypes are often used to demonstrate how product works to potential investors or team members. So, nakakatulong din ito to reduce the overall cost of product as it allows designers to solve possible challenges at an early stage in the design process. So, common instructional technologies that can be found in a classroom are printed materials. So, textbooks, fiction and non-fiction books, pamphlets, study guides, manuals, photographs, and pre-recorded magnetic audio tapes. So, audio tapes. So, printed materials also have limitations, particularly um, for non-readers or learners who do not like to read. So, bakit? So, printed materials such as handouts and textbooks have limitations for non-readers or learners who do not like read or who do not like to read. Dahil yung mga information na tinatry nilang malaman or maaral but about presented is not presented to them in an accessible format. So, isa po sa reason yun. So, this makes it difficult for them to process the information and understand it since they rely more on visual or auditory forms of learning. So, may mga types of types of learning tayo. So, which is learning, um, visual learning, learning, and so on. So additionally, printed materials can often be more expensive, produced at their own uh, forms of materials such as visual materials, therefore making them less accessible to learners who may not have the financial resources to pay for them. So uh, typically, nagre-require ito to still long periods of time, which can be difficult to learners who have difficulty with sustained focus or who may suffer from physical or mental condition. So sometimes teachers require the learners to memorize many facts and definitions without understanding because of the individual in the materials and values. So, so, yung ibang teachers, mas nire-require nila yung mga students to memorize facts and definitions without even understanding them without some teachers may require their students to memorize facts and definitions without understanding them because these materials are readily available in nearly every household. So, mas nire-require ng mga teachers na mag-memorize na lang yung mga students about facts and definitions of some words or some things para without even learning or Kahit hindi na nila ito aralin ng maigi, basta sa ulo nila kung ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng isang bagay. Um, it is thought that memorization promotes better understanding of the material in the long run. So, as well as helping learners to develop better cognitive abilities, additionally, memorization allows learners to quickly recall specific information when needed. So, tulad ng exams or discussing or writing about a topic. So, memorizing facts, also known as, also often leads to better comprehension or complex topics and ideas in the future. So, next, chalkboards and whiteboards. So, teachers commonly use this kind of display surface when presenting a lesson. This phrase is referring to the use of projection surface such as whiteboard, chalkboard, or projection screens. So, ang mga teachers commonly ang ginagamit nila, ito yung commonly type na ginagamit nila inside the classroom. So, it helps to keep students focused on the topic at hand, as they can easily follow along with the teacher's presentation and take notes when necessary. So, with the use of projection surfaces, yung mga teacher mas nagiging mas nagiging interactive and engaging and informative yung lesson. The chalkboard is mostly present in every classroom and it varies in color, sometimes black, but frequently green. But in college, we can see that uh, we no longer using a chalkboard. We are using a whiteboard instead. Next is some classrooms are using whiteboards the same as chalkboards. So yun nga, sa college nga. So whiteboards and chalkboards are both common tools in the classroom. So mas preferred yung ng ibang teachers yung whiteboards kasi mas madali itong ma-access. So, hindi katulad ng chalkboards kapag tayo may tendency or may time na ang hirap niyang bulahin. And kapag matagal na yung sulat, hindi agad siya nabubula. May tendency chalk, di ba, nakaka-active siya ng sulat. Like for example, sa lung cancer. And so next is at the present, the majority of schools prefer to use the whiteboard than chalkboard because of the noise produced with chalk. So yun na. Um, there are teachers and learners who have allergies to chalk dust. Yun. And also, itong chalk dust na to can potentially damage electronic materials in the classroom like computers. So, hindi lang sa tao may epekto yung chalk dust. Nakaka-epekto rin ito sa mga katulad natin tulad ng uh, hinangin yung dust ng chalkboard, hinangin ay ng chalk, hinangin or lumikit sa isang ibang may tendency na mangangalawang yung bagay na yun. So, a bulletin board is also called a pin board or notice board. So, kapag sinabi natin bulletin board, also known as pin board or notice board, is a physical board that can be used to post messages, notes, flyers, notices, and other important information. So, commonly, it is used sa school, businesses, places and of worship, and other organizations to communicate with members and inform people of upcoming events and activities. So, itong bulletin boards na ito, nagsisilbi itong bulletin boards na ito, effective way ito to keep people informed and important activities in their communities. It is a surface intended for posting brief news or announcements. Bulletin boards can also be in the school. So, usually, itong bulletin board na to is made from materials called pins, some apps, and other shared classmates who do not have or who don't have a pin board like a fork, and it comes in the different shapes, sizes, and even style of the teacher. So they can use bulletin boards to display learners' work and achievements. It has a big part in the lives of the learners. So displaying their work may motivate learners to do their best. Learners take pride um, if they see their work posted of the bulletin board in the classroom. It can be best way of developing self-esteem and confidence among learners. So yun, kapag kapag nakita ng mga students na nakapost yung mga paperworks nila, mga projects nila, written work, mas na-feel nila na mas na-appreciate natin as a teacher yung kanilang gawa. So, doon mas nabibuild yung mas confidence nila and mas nai-engage silang mas matuto at magkaroon ng mas mataas na goal in achieving things in their life because they feel appreciated. So, preparing for a successful bulletin board event requires a great effort of thought and planning. Teachers must involve the learners in doing the bulletin board so they can think together of the design and content that should be on the board. With this, children can learn how to collaborate with the group, develop leadership skills, and enhance creativity and critical thinking skills. So, moreover, learners can feel the sense of responsibility and ownership. Now, following are the criteria that teachers should remember in using bulletin boards. So, first is the effective communication. Pag sinabi natin effective communication, it is the effective exchange of information between two or more people. So it is important that for teachers to remember certain criteria when using words to ensure messages are properly communicated. So like example, keep it simple, use visuals, be clear and concise, keep it updated, and make it accessible. So that is some examples of an effective communication which is criteria of the report. So it conveys a clear message. So next is attractiveness. Kapag sinabi natin attractiveness, it is a key criteria that teachers should remember when using bulletin boards. So it is the context, which means making sure that the bulletin board is visually appealing and engaging. So uh, to students. So, by means of attractiveness, nakakatch nito yung attention ng mga students by means of the creative, like yung ginamit na color is nakakakit naman talaga sa ating and, science is very creative na kung saan um, na-attract nga tayo with, na-attract tayo yung attention natin doon sa um, bulletin board. So, uh, by means of being attractive, um, by means of having attractiveness of bulletin boards, mas more ang chances na mas mag-focus yung mga students doon sa bulletin boards and doon mag-start na makikita nila kung ano ba yung laman talaga ng bulletin boards nila. So, next is balance. Pag sinabi natin balance boards can be a great way for teachers to interact with students and help them keep on track with the students. So but they should be used thoughtfully and carefully since too many visual distractions can be overwhelming and distract from learning. So here are some examples or some tips for ensuring that your bulletin boards are used effectively. So first is balance, organization, clarity, aesthetics, and freshness. So balance is formed in next is unity. Kapag sinabi natin unity, um, kapag sinabi natin unity, it is the design principle of design system that suggests that the use of repeated shapes and colors or the use of borders provides a usually cohesive interface. So, sa pagre-repeat ng visual elements, shapes, and colors and borders, nakakabuo ito ng sense of continuity, maintaining the balance in the design and making it easier to navigate and visually link elements. So, paggamit ng mga pare-parehong colors, mga shapes, that tell why a set of elements belong together. So, nakakatulong ito na mag-create unified visual language. So, um, itong paggamit natin ng repeated shapes and colors, uh, nakakatulong ito for the borders to create a visually unified interface, making it easier to navigate. So kapag sinabi natin unity, it is the repeated shapes, colors, or use of borders all displayed together visually. Interactive, it involves the words. So, pag sinabi naman natin interactive, refers to a form of media or content that encourages viewers to actively participate or engage in some way. So, Nag-include dito ng activities like taking surveys, playing games, or even casting a vote. So, dapat sa bulletin boards, interactive, dapat yung laman ng bulletin boards is mafe-feel ng mga students or mga adult um, na parang parte sila ng information na kanilang nababasa or announcement doon sa legible. Letters and illustrations can be seen clearly from a distance. So this means that any letters or illustrations that can be read or shown can be seen clearly from a distance. So pag sinabi natin na um, information or announcement sa bulletin boards, dapat nakabasa na dahil hindi naman lahat ng students ay malinaw ang mata. So, dapat ma-ensure natin na yung ginamit natin font and yung mga uh, letter sizes na ginamit natin sa words or every letters ay tamang-tama para sa mga students para mas malinaw at mabasa nila ang nilalaman ng bulletin boards. Next is durability. Durability, it is important quality for teachers to consider when choosing a bulletin board. So, itong durability nito, nagre-refer ito on how well the board will hold up over time and maintain its appearances. And so, it is well constructed physically, and the items are secure and are securely attached. So, next is neatness. It has a clean and pleasing appearance. So, neatness, dapat yung bulletin boards natin malinis and dapat organized siya. And pag sinabi natin neatness, it is important to keep bulletin boards neat, tidy, and organized to ensure that the students are seeing the information and not getting distracted by any clutter. So, it promotes a sense of professionalism in a classroom, creating an environment of respect and responsibility. Now, dumako naman tayo sa flip charts. Flip chart is a stationary object consisting of a pad of large paper sheets fastened together. So it is fixed and mounted at the top of the cell. So kapag sinabi natin flip charts, it allows people in the room to easily view the information written on a large paper pad as it is mounted on an easel and can be adjusted to different heights. So every sheet of the flip chart has verbal or visual messages that are arranged in the sequential order, which teachers can use a flip chart while presenting the lesson by showing the learners words or picture one at a time. So, itong flip charts na to, ito yung great tool great tool that teacher use in a classroom setting. So, by means of showing the students the words or pictures one at a time, the teacher can present the lesson clearly and effectively. So, mas ina-allow nito yung mga students to focus on each concept or term separately and gives the opportunity, nagbibigay ito ng opportunity sa mga students to take questions or to ask questions or discuss the further lesson. So, it is the extemporaneous drawing of the key illustrations and keywords to supplement the standard presentation. So, the flip chart is an extremely versatile, convenient, and expensive instructional display the teachers can use in teaching young learners, and it requires no electrical power, has no moving parts to wear out, and can be used in a ring of food, be used in a range of lighting conditions, and is portable and requires only a working pen. So, this statement, nag, it is referred po sa PowerPoint. So, next is, there are several types of flip charts. So, what are the several types of those? So, we have three several types of flip charts, which is the standard flip chart, the metallic, the metallic one stand, and the metallic round wheels. So first is the stand-alone flip chart. So kapag sinabi natin stand-alone flip charts, it is a large triangular shape box that have triangular or rectangular shape box that sits on a table. So Kadalasan ginagamit ito sa mga presentation purposes, which allows users to quickly and easily show off materials, diagrams, graphs, and visuals on an audience. So the box has a number of different pages which can flip over to reveal a different first slides. So pictures resembles a big triangle box which usually sits on the table. So yun nga. Um, so itong box na ito, nagpo-provide ng storage na usually for additional writing utensils, markers, and other supplies. So it is great for smaller presentations and can be used in offices, conference rooms, and schools and other gatherings or meetings. Next is metallic tripod stand. Pag sinabi natin metallic tripod stand, ito po yung type of support equipment for a larger sheet. So, nagko-compose po ito ng 3 to 4 metallic plates that are attached at the top of its bend downwards. So, yung legs po na nakakonekta sa uh, nakasupport sa triangle box or rectangle box. Ito po yung support which serves as a platform for a large paper sheet to rest on. So, ito naman pong tinatawag natin paper sheet. Ito yung naka-attach securely to 2 or 3 uh, securely to 2 of these legs in order to prevent from slipping or moving once in a position. So, primarily ang use po nitong primarily po, ginagamit ito for printing or photographic setting where steady and stable support is needed to large paper sheets. So next is metallic mount on wheels. So kapag sinabi natin metallic mount on wheels, mount on wheels, ito po yung type of paper or document holder that is ideal for organizing and transporting large amounts of paper. So, ito yung mount po niya may flat base na kung saan sumusupport ito sa paper sheets. And nakakonect po ito sa set of wheels. So, yun po. Depending on the model, the mount can have either 1 or 2 legs. So, nagpo-provide ito ng stability while the wheels make it easy to move the mount around. So, this is particularly useful for office workers who need to move large amounts of papers quickly and easily. So, metallic mount on wheels usually has a flat base to support the paper sheets and is mounted on 1 or 2 legs that have wheels. So, yun lang po ang report namin. Thank you for listening.